Thanks for joining us on Patriot Mobile's podcast, Courage in Faith. I'm your host, Danielle Buck. Before we begin today's conversation, I'd love to catch you up on some of the amazing events the Patriot Mobile team has been part of. Recently, we sponsored the Pro-Family Legislative Network Conference, an inspiring gathering where national policy experts sat down with state legislators to talk through the challenges facing our country and, more importantly, the constitutional solutions that can strengthen families and protect freedom. During Military Family Appreciation Month, we were honored to serve as a major sponsor of the Folds of Honor North Texas fundraiser. This organization continues to change lives by providing scholarships to the families of fallen or disabled military heroes and first responders, work that we are humbled to support. We also proudly partnered with SoldierStrong at their annual fundraiser. SoldierStrong equips injured veterans with the resources they need to begin a new chapter and rebuild their futures. And now for the fun part. We are joined by Staff Sergeant Bryce Cherryhomes. Thank you so much for coming all the way from North Carolina to have this conversation with us. And I just want to start, you're a Fort Worth native, so fun to probably be back where you were born.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my mom told me I was named after like one of the older streets in Fort Worth called Bryce Street. And then, Tarrant County, born and raised for at least 6 years.
So what brings us together is SoldierStrong.
Correct.
But that's not where your story began. So would you kind of start with a little bit of your story and going into the military and some of the injuries that...
Yeah, absolutely. So I joined the military because my grandma always wanted me to. And when she passed in 2006, I just felt obligated because it was something that I could do to honor her. Mm-hmm. And joined the Marine Corps, and once I joined, I started not excelling, but doing enough where I could see how my path in there was going to be a good path, and that I was on the right path. So, long story short, after all the initial training and everything else, we go to my first unit, and then deployed to Iraq after that. I got injured there in Iraq in 2008. I fell initially from a trailer that wearing all my military equipment. And by doing that, it messed my back up, herniated some discs. That led to me just continuing to try to fight, though, because I felt that sense of duty that I needed to be there for the man and woman on my left and my right, my battle buddies, right? Mm-hmm. And it's ironic because on our way in, when we were talking, and you were talking about the Bible studies that you guys have here, that's actually when I first started Bible studies in any way, shape, or form, and ever really started to believe and put my faith into. And during such times was probably the best part of it because they helped me through a lot of the situations that we ended up in while there in what we call theater. And then, I come home from that. Probably the best thing that ever happened to me then was I married my wife. An amazing time, but we immediately go, and I have to deploy again. Literally, I think it was a month after our wedding. Wow. Left on ship. Went for about a 5-6 month deployment down to Central South America, but my back was messed up from that fall, and other events. So walking on metal all day doesn't help either. So it got messed up and worse, and then. Eventually, when I got back home, we moved to California, and when we moved there, I was with 1st Marine Division. We ended up deploying in 2012 to Afghanistan, and during that deployment, there was injuries that I sustained there as well. So, come back, hardest part about leaving then was my daughter. Her head was here. I always tell everybody her head was here, and her legs sat here. When I came off the bus, she walked to me. So it's one of those defining moments in life where it's like, there was a moment in Afghanistan where I didn't think I was going to make it. Mm-hmm. And I remember writing it out, telling her how much I love her and telling her how much this and that, and telling my wife the same thing. And I still have those letters, and I've told my wife, you're not allowed to read them until I die. I mean, they were meant for that. So don't read them till then. And, but I came back and I got back because I don't know how. I just made it. It was ironic. And then after that, I ended up having to have a 4-level spinal fusion surgery. And after that fusion, it didn't make me any better at all, and ended up on a lot of medications and a lot of pain. I got medically retired from the Marine Corps and started a job and found a sense of purpose again in a way, because I didn't feel like I had any. And at that point in my life, I had forgotten God and forgotten that I'd forgotten that I needed to remember that He's there with me all the time. And so, yeah, we started going back to church then when we were in Indianola, Iowa. I met some people through my job that pulled us back into that, and that was amazing. I ended up having some mental health issues too, though, while in that journey. While in that journey, I had to check myself in and get better, and then again continued on my relationship. And my kids were 4 and 2 when I went to have a surgery to potentially get me out of pain, to make me back to where I could be a better husband, father, man. And that, unfortunately, that surgery had complications, and I became paralyzed. So I'm paralyzed from T3 down. I'm considered what's called an ASIA A, which is no movement or sensation beneath the level of injury, and have less than a 10% chance to walk again. If you YouTube me, you'll see on the video that from day one that there's a smile on my face because I'm still alive. I could have very well died. What had happened was it all happened. I could have very well died. Makes you also tighten that bond you have then with the Lord.
Amen. And
you go back and you look at, I went back and looked at different scriptures then at that point, and it was weird because I felt like, and I always forget the exact scripture verse, but I know when they speak about like having the sword and the shield and the armor and all of it. And when I think of those things, it's like, well, He does prepare me for every type of battle. And this is a battle. Okay, I'm going to find a way to fight this battle. And I'm not going to fight this battle just by myself. Right. I'm going to fight it with my wife. My wife's there with me. Our daughter turned 5 just, I think 23 days before I was paralyzed. Our son turned 3, 11 days after I was paralyzed. But I knew I had to fight the battle. And it's like, okay, well, we're not alone. We got it. Whatever. I thought I lost purpose for a long time. And then I found purpose when a few months later, our kids are old enough. We start them in a T-ball in Iowa. And on that journey, I learned that I could still coach. Or I could still make an impact on someone else's life. And my life wasn't over with. That He moved me from a path I was on to a path that would be better not just for myself, but for others. The golden rule. Just treating others the way you'd want to be treated.
A life of service in this area.
Yes, ma'am.
Transferred over to a life of service in this area
Yes,
to pour
ma'am.
into other kids.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
and other veterans or elderly people, the ones that don't always have someone to support them when they need it. I can't stand that. Literally. That was a joke. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I hope that's well received.
Yes,
I apologize.
No.
I like to have some humor with it because it kind of breaks that. It breaks that uneasy tone.
Yeah.
It breaks that situation where it's hard to breathe. Then.
So how have you, since you were paralyzed, been able to help other veterans?
Right after we got paralyzed, I'm being told less than 10% chance to walk again. We go through all the physical therapies for it, and we have issues. We have a lot of issues at the time, but at that moment, we're good. We just kept moving forward. We're just going to deal with these issues one by one as they come up. a lot of them medical and a lot of them personal as well. So it's challenging. I mean, you have a 10% chance of walking again, sir, but also we need to let you know there's an 85% attrition rate for divorce with paraplegics. So I'll take those odds. My wife's my rock. She gave birth to my diamond, our daughter. And since my son liked dinosaurs at the time, I tell him that she also gave birth to my fossil, which is amazing because he's still solid. He's good. He'll be all right.
That's awesome.
At that moment when I started realizing that I'm having these same problems, or I'm having these issues, these other veterans are having these issues. So no, that's not right. So we're gonna work together, and I'm gonna start helping them, and that's what we did. And then from that, it went to another spinal cord injury annual exam. We went to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I learned about a research study with an exoskeleton company, Rewalk. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. Like, we were getting ready to move to North Carolina from Iowa because the medical treatment there, we didn't feel adequate enough for me or our family. So we're going back to where we knew, Camp Lejeune, the first place we got when we got married, where we got married at and where we lived. Mm-hmm. And we loved the area. So we were going back, and they asked me, you'd be a perfect candidate. It's too bad you're leaving. I'm like, no, hold on. This only happens. Things like this only get put in front of you for a reason. And so it's like, okay, hey babe, can you take the kids? Can you do this and give me a month so I can do this study? And I might have a chance to walk again with you and have a chance to walk my daughter down the aisle. Maybe stand up and just play catch with my boy again. Anything. And she said, absolutely. And so I stayed. I did the trial. I excelled at it. I don't like to be told that I can't do things, because I know that, as we were talking a little bit ago, I know that, like, if I'm having a hard time and I'm struggling and I'm facing the trials, tribulations that I'm facing, I know he's by my side. I can look down, and like I said to you, I can look down and either I'm seeing the footprints, and if I don't see them, at that moment in time, I can feel, like I said, I can't really, but at that moment in time, at least not physically for myself, but I can feel then the weight of him. He's sitting with me, and he's just speaking, right? He's telling me that, mm-hmm. You got it. Here's the way to go, and that's what I do. So we started doing the exoskeleton thing, and then I ended up, after that study, getting in with the Indigo exoskeleton, and at that time was owned by a different company, now owned by Exobionics. About a year after getting that device, we learned about SoldierStrong. And at that time, I'm like, this is amazing. So these guys also have the same values, morals, and everything else that I have, and they want to only help people as well. But they want to help people that are in my situation, where, for instance, the first time the national anthem was played after I was paralyzed, and you go to stand-in, and after that service you talked about I had earlier, that's a heavy one, because I couldn't do it. So they gave me the opportunity to actually do just that. They invited us to the Republican National Convention in 2020, where Vice President Pence at the time was accepting his reconfirmation, right, for Vice President. And then at the end of all that, they play the national anthem, we start with the national. First, I can't remember. It was an amazing night. It was an amazing night because I was in tears for the fact that I could do it. Mm. And we get to meet him in a sense from distance because of COVID. And when he found out, my wife told him, like, this is the first time he stood ever, and there's a tear in my face. I remember it, and I just fist bumped him, and so I love that. It was an amazing chance that they gave me. Then I realized that they're the ones giving it to other people as well. There's no one else in the country in this nonprofit that donates exoskeletons, not to veterans or to VAs, or provides the training necessary for it. Okay, at that point, again, God, you're putting things in my path and telling me which way I go and where my purpose is at now, where I'm supposed to be moving, what my sense of duty is, and what I should be doing. Okay, how do I do it? Well, Chris Meek, the co-founder of Soldier Strong. Chris, how can I help? Christina, how can I help? Working together with all of them. I mean, the first event we did was at a small home in Florida, and at that event we met Sylvie. She was an amazing person. We met other people that were amazing people that also had core values as us. And then from then we continued on and just kept helping. We were able to get donation after donations for these exoskeletons, and then watch how they affected all these other veterans, which was awesome because you get a chance to stand up and look someone eye to eye. And people don't realize it. For me, I'm sitting in a chair. They always think I'm not as tall as I am. I'm 6'4" when I stand up. So when I stand up, and they really do, then at that point I like to joke, say, you look up to me, don't you? I said, the weather is nice up here.
That's awesome.
So working with Soldier Strong, we meet all these incredible people, and like yourselves now, you know, as partners with them. Again, same values. Finding out that path that he put me on in the very beginning, and every step along that way, every little event we've done, every time we do this out of our heart because that's where it should be. And so with Soldier Strong, they're the same way. I mean, I have a very good relationship with these individuals. They're amazing people. And when they offered me the chance with you guys, I said, yes, please, because they sound like amazing people too. And I want to get to know them. And I want to help and just
share the story.
That's right.
Yeah.
Share my story in order to maybe help others.
So how would you describe how the exoskeleton has changed you?
Oh, it's that's I can describe it with this. The first time that my children saw me stand up again, tag, you're it. And it was, I'm normal to them. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm back to being me.
Yeah.
I might not be able to do everything I used to be able to do, but I'm back to being me. I have a sense of, again, like my purpose now in this is I want to showcase it. I want to tell people it's available. It exists. I want to push it to its limits. I like that because that helps it get stronger.
That's right.
It develops it.
And help it become more available.
And help it become more available. Absolutely, help it become more available. Yes, ma'am. So,
because I know that a lot of the VA clinics have some of these, so that multiple veterans can use them.
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, because they're quite expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. They are. They're from. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but they are very expensive. Yes.
So for people who've not heard of Soldier Strong,
right,
and the impact it's made on you on having an exoskeleton, you know, what would you say? Why should they look them up, get involved?
When you give individuals the opportunity to not only stand up for themselves again and say in any aspect, you give them a chance to feel inspired in order to be recognized again as not just someone in a chair, someone that can't do something, someone that always needs help. When that organization is able to provide the exact opposite of I can do it, I can take the next step literally forward. You know, I can do these things. There's nothing better for your heart, your soul, than being reaffirmed that it's available and that I can do it. And then with them, I mean, I would look them up absolutely because they gave many people the opportunity to do this again. But not just them. Again, it comes back to organizations like yourselves that are willing to even showcase me right now and say, hey, and not me, but Soldier Strong also. Like, I appreciate this. It's an amazing opportunity to let people know about it because no one, I mean, I've talked to many people and they don't know about this organization normally.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
I've been in this space, 5 years really trying to understand the veteran space and the organizations and how they're servicing. And I had not heard of Soldier Strong until the Owens, I guess it was about 2 years ago. And the more research I did, just seeing
Natasha and David.
And
Love
seeing
them.
the
Amazing.
your life has been changed because of having the exoskeleton and having a husband who has significant back injuries and knowing the impact that makes on your mental, emotional, every area of your life.
Absolutely.
And to see an organization come in and say, hey, we are going to walk alongside you and help you. And you know what? We want to make this more available. We want to help more veterans. I mean, that's why Patriot Mobile exists. That's why we have members that are at home watching because they're paying a cell phone with us because they want to support you and say thank you and try to get more of these into more veterans' hands. And so that's obviously how it all kind of ties together. And I love how you weave in your faith because I think that at the end of the day, like we're a Christian company and God has given us a purpose. And sometimes our life can look like a mess from the outside, but then he uses it and he weaves in his purpose and he creates our mess into his message. And I look at your life and I've seen that.
I like that. I'm sorry.
What you said, you can take it and you can use it in your speeches.
I loved that because I like to think that I can articulate well, but that was beautiful. So thank you for that. Sorry, I couldn't.
The Lord is.
That was. He works in mysterious ways.
He does, and he is here in our midst.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I know that his spirit is living in you, and he has a lot of work for you to do still in this earth. And I am so grateful to have met you. I would love, like my last question, and we got to wrap, is if you were to encourage people at home, they might be walking through something hard, what would you say to them?
I would say to remember to look down before you continue to look anywhere else. He's there. His footprints are right beside you. And if you look down, you don't see that second set. It's because he's carrying you. It's because he's helping you through that. I had to take 3 years before I found that. And I remembered it. And I tell people all the time that God knew I had strong shoulders. He knew I had a big heart. He knows that I'm going to carry my emotions as well as I can and carry all the weight that I can. I have a strong back, even with the injuries to it. And like I said, I try to use humor to not only cope with it myself. You mentioned your husband and knowing that emotional and that mental pain that we deal with him not being able to fulfill things. I like to say that he took away those 2 points of contact because he knew my legs weren't strong enough. And instead he gave me 4. Because he knew that I could still carry that weight and I'm still alive to be able to move forward, take that next step and show people that you can get through it. It will be okay. Remember that he's with you. Honestly. You're not alone. And I feel
never alone.
Never alone.
Yeah.
It's not just us either, the ones that suffer. It's also the caregivers as well because it's hard on everyone if you're married or your significant other, your child's chronic pain, all these things. And this device isn't just for paraplegics. Stroke victims use it. Individuals that have other diseases, they use it. This one is incredible. Look up Soldier Strong.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Go to the website.
Look them up.
Soldier Strong. Check them out on social media as well. You can sign up for their newsletter and see some of the stuff that they're doing. I know they also have something for PTSD that has been really helpful for so many veterans. So thank you for joining us. And we hope that you will stay tuned for next episode of Courage in Faith. Thank you so much for joining us.